Chase Thomas podcast. My nephew needs me to record. See, I already hate it. I hate it.
All right, hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Chase Thomas podcast. From still the aforementioned Chase Thomas, coming to you live from Knoxville, Tennessee, Everything School HQ. Joining me, co-host of More Important Issues, Caleb Mitchell is here. Caleb, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to be back here. As much as I complained about it being a week last week, that's a lot of weeks in a sentence. This week, all the fire, all the brimstone. And every time I start to get nervous, I just Google Lane Kiffin to like alleviate some of those butterflies, and that's been entertaining. So I'm good. Okay.
Do you have butterflies about this game on Saturday?
Well, which is kind of fun because it's kind of like the little kid in me. Like I get butterflies just like anytime Tennessee plays. Like Tennessee, like it doesn't set in all the time at the same time, depending on the amount of game, how big the game is. But like even like 8-28 last night before we tipped off against Rice, like that, that feeling in your stomach, like it's go time. Yeah, it hits.
Saturday is going to be, I'm glad I have a jam-packed Saturday with family coming in because it would drive me nuts having to pace around and wait for this game on Saturday night at 7:30.
Yeah.
Like
playing
the
golf
7:30 road Florida game is brutal. Like just having to sit with it all day and then having to stay up for what will be an anxiety-riddled night. That's just hey, it is what it is. Alex Sarkis of the UT Daily Beacon is also here. Are you going down to Gainesville, Alex?
We will be in the swamp.
Okay. Caleb, are you going?
No.
That was a no. Alex, have you been down there before?
I haven't. This will be my first time, so I'm super pumped.
Okay. This will be big.
It's I'd say out of the trips that I've been on this year, this is the one I'm most excited for.
Really? Why?
Just because it's the swamp, and I've always wanted to see it. It's one of those bucket list places. So, and it's a night, and we got a night game, thank God. So, that'll be.
We wanted the noon slate. Let's be clear about that.
I wanted the 11 a.m. Like, let's give the LSU Death Valley treatment.
I'm an unbiased college football fan here, guys. This is, I'm excited for this atmosphere. This is going to be fun.
I've never questioned your journalistic ethics. When I think journalism, I think Alex Sarkis. Like capital J, it's Alex Sarkis.
Capital J, and I appreciate that, Chase. And it's also I've heard from some of my sources that Florida has the best press box atmosphere as well.
Interesting.
I don't know if it's open. I heard the last time the Tennessee people were there, it was an open press box. I've heard rumors that it has since been renovated and closed in, which I hope it's not, because open press boxes are the greatest thing in the world.
I feel like old school journalists, which is shocking, they probably hate the open press box.
Oh, I'm sure. And Tennessee's press box is very nice, but awful. You can't hear anything. It's horrible.
Do they have the part like the awning windows up top that you can open at least, or no?
No, it's straight glass. I mean, you can't hear anything. It's crazy. Like, I hate it.
2 questions off the top of your head: who has the best food? I love the tweets about the awful food. You rarely hear about the good food.
Alabama, certainly this year. They had, what did they have? I think they had some kind of like pot roast thing with like green beans. It was awesome. That was awesome. See, there's like 2 kinds of press box food. You'll get the like fancy press box food, which is like that style, and then you'll get, your chicken fingers, which I like because I'm a 13-year-old kid. But
picky eater?
Yeah, not really. I mean, I'll eat anything, but
I'm not picky either, but hit me with some chicken tenders. I'm in.
Yeah, everybody I crave that food a lot. So, I'm also a big popcorn in the press box guy. If it doesn't have popcorn, I'm not happy.
Okay.
I hope the SID at Florida is jotting this down when Alex.
Yeah, I hope he is. Yes.
Yeah.
Follow up as a hijack Chase's podcast here. How much would I have to pay you, preferably this week because it'd be Florida and it'd be funny, to cheer for like a Florida touchdown? So I have to see, so we're cheering for our teams down the press box, but it's not Tennessee.
$25. I don't command a hefty price.
Hit me with your Venmo. That's worth it. I don't know who's going to tweet it, but it'll be retweeted and it'll be probably put in message boards, and I'll laugh. It's worth it.
I don't have anything to lose.
I will say I just realized that I do have to question some of your journalistic ethics, Alex Sarkis.
Bring it.
I'm sorry.
Bring it on, Chase.
We should have done this in a closed door meeting. I apologize.
Yeah.
This is part of it, and we're all friends here. But you have a bit that you do every game day. I've noticed, Alex Sarkis. You have a bit.
Oh, I know what this is. I know where this is going, Chase. This is good. I know where you're going with this. Yes,
this seat will do.
This seat will do.
Is the Alex Sarkis bit?
Well, is it?
Does it though? Is that always true, Alex Sarkis? When you're sharing that out, do you actually mean it? Because now I don't know if you mean it. Now I don't know if sometimes you send it out just to keep up for appearances. But I don't think, now that I know about your open press box versus closed press box, I think that this seat will do. Not always genuine. And I'm a little concerned. I put the capital J journalism part of this to open this very program. And I'm already backtracking because I'm starting, the wheels are turning here. And I have my doubts now.
That's a very fair assessment, Chase. And you know what? When to have the job that I do, to get to cover Division I SEC college sports, no matter where I'm sitting, that seat will always do. I don't care if I'm sitting on a bench, in the nosebleeds. I don't care. That seat will always do. It's from the heart. It's genuine. It's not about the amenities.
Well, you just wait until March Madness, and the NCAA will gladly put you on a bench in the nosebleeds.
Well, the last March Madness I was courtside. I was actually on TV.
Wow.
So that seat will always, the seat will always do, Chase. But you know what? I appreciate your concern.
Is he running for student body president? Like that was a very diplomatic answer. That was good.
You. I'm trying to keep these ethics rolling here. That's what I thrive on.
That's great. Capital
J.
That
felt at least mostly genuine. Definitely threw in maybe a jab or two, but I think I believe you.
Okay.
Good. That's
maybe
that's
I'm a
my goal.
I don't know.
Maybe.
We're gonna see. We're gonna keep tabs on this, and I'm just gonna zoom in on the picture as much as I can to see like what the location is, and be like, I don't buy it. I'm waiting for that one time where I'm like, no chance it's genuine, and then I'm gonna have to address it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Just the way
that
it
will never come.
Give me a heads up. I want to be here that week. I want to make sure I'm in this seat. It'll do.
And I will, you know what I'll do? I'll screen cap it and I'll put it on this broadcast, and we'll just have a side by side, and we'll get our rapid reactions here. And I won't tell Alex I'm doing it to you. Just a surprise picture right next to it. Be like, oh God, here's what's happening. Yeah, you know what you've done. Well, speaking of things that were done over the weekend, Tennessee beat the New Mexico State Aggies on Saturday night. Caleb, as we do every week here, stock report, who's trending up on the Vols football players, coaches, position rooms, and who is trending down coming out of the Vols win over the Aggies.
Yeah, I think this one's a hard one to really judge because of your opponent, and Tennessee did at the end of the day take care of business, and I guess that's my stock would be down, would be the offense's slow start. Yeah, they did end up getting 14 in the first quarter after that interception on the first drive, but then only went to halftime 21 points. You don't love to see that, but you closed out, so not gonna harp on it again, but I think everyone saw this as kind of a warm-up, a practice for the next 2 weeks. So you don't love to see that. And same, not going to put too much on the positive. So I guess just like highlight for me a few guys, maybe monitor stock. I really like Peyton Lewis this week. Felt like he, again, hard to judge the opponent, but you just saw some extra stuff that you saw him run the ball a little bit harder than I feel like we've seen him run, which at times he's ran the ball hard. So I like that. You see Brazel and Staley kind of get back into the groove. Like they just, don't skip a beat. Brazel was robbed of a touchdown. How that doesn't get reviewed is beyond me. That Tennessee has been screwed on some spots this year. Which I don't know. Spots of the football always kind of drive me nuts. Especially with reviewing the sport. Quick diatribe here. If football's a game of inches, shouldn't we review every single spot Aren't they all just as important as the fourth down?
No, we're not doing this. I can't
We're
advocate.
just
like last night in the Tennessee Rice game, we were doing an early challenge.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
And that took like 7 minutes. And they're talking on the broadcast. They're like, what a great adventure for the sport and the SEC. And I'm like, are we watching the same game? I don't want to spend 7 minutes on who this ball went out on 5 minutes into Tennessee Rice. What are you talking about?
I hate video reviews, period. So
yeah.
Don't give me, I'm saying this sarcastic. I just hate when we review fourth downs because it's a fourth down. But the first down, what if you got that inch on the first down that you didn't review? I hate it. It drives me.
It does feel like Tennessee's gotten some really bad spots this year. I would say in particular this year, Tennessee football spots. There have been a couple of egregious ones where they've gone back and they've reversed them, but it's like, man, you're a yard and a half off. Like it's not really close.
And then it robs Brazel a touchdown. Which is he seemed upset about it. I was upset. I was screaming at the TV the whole time. I love Deshaun Bishop, but I don't think he deserved that touchdown.
You didn't go on Saturday?
No, I had to work. We have hit. Yeah, won't get into it. Shout out to one of my vendors. It's been real fun. But love the wide receivers. They look great. Flipping a defense, DBs or not DBs. Let's pump the brakes there. The corners. I thought Colton Hood and Ty Redmond looked really, really good. And then you get a Willie Wright pick 6. Love to see it. So big stuff from the corners. And then a guy that I shout out to the interwebs. I was like, oh, he played good. And then you go look at the box score, led the team in tackles, and then everywhere, Twitter, message boards, everywhere you look, Daevin Hobbs, like everyone loves him. Some people, it seems like they never heard of him. Like this Hobbs guy, man, tore it up. So special shout out to him because he impressed a lot of people, and including me. But I just didn't realize how he did have a bigger impact on the game. And then I think the biggest winner of all this week, stock way up. It's got to be Boo Carter. Like everything's
I had a feeling that was coming.
Finally, the season conclude. Like it's a conclusion. We all knew we were coming here eventually. Now you just go shop around. I think that's a win.
Moment of silence from Chase.
I'm glad it's over. Like I'm glad we can all move forward. Like I'm glad we can just move on, and I wish him well. Like Boo's probably going to do really well wherever he goes from here. Like depending on where he ends up, it would not surprise me if he's playing both ways somewhere, and like it's probably really good. Like it's going to bum me out that it never worked out here, but I do think now we can finally move forward. Like Heupel was very much over this entire situation.
It's the most straight answer we've ever gotten out of Heupel.
Yeah. Well, I
Saturday and Monday.
I appreciated the post game pause, like that 3 to 5 seconds where I was like, all right, there's some, because I need some juice every now and then from Heupel, and I was like, all right, there you go. I like it. I need something there every now and then because these pressers are tough. But I was like, okay, Heupel's showing a little bit there. It seems like with the silence and the stare. But I think all is fair. I would say the biggest one you mentioned here, Caleb, is Daevin Hobbs, Alex. Like Daevin Hobbs led the team in tackles on the interior, 2 pass breakups. He was everywhere. And I think the reason people were like, oh, this Daevin Hobbs guy, like, oh, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, he was a borderline 5-star kid, number 1 player in the state of North Carolina in his class. He just hasn't been healthy. Like his whole thing, the talent's there. I mean, he was compared to Richard Seymour by Rodney Garner when he got here. So he has all the talent to be a first, second round pick if it all comes together and he's healthy and puts it all together. So hopefully he's back for one more year and he can parlay this strong surge down the stretch. Because I mean, they're going to need him against Vanderbilt and need him against Florida. So it's good that he's playing his best football and seems really healthy because he's a disruptor. Alex, like Daevin Hobbs is a blue chip player that they have not had in the interior in a while. So he's great. And I think he's definitely a big stock up guy.
Certainly. And I think my biggest stock up guy or just the guy that you guys haven't mentioned yet, and he keeps on impressing me every week, Jaden Perlotti. And it's just a young stud, really, and just such an athlete at that linebacker position, which is what Tennessee needs. There was a play. It was it ended up. I don't know if it was a New Mexico State supposed to be a run play or what, but Jaden Perlotti shot through the line of scrimmage and blew up Logan Fife. I mean, one of the biggest hits that I've seen this season. And just it's that guy's electric, and that's what that Tennessee needs and from the linebacker position. And so the way he can move, just the skills he has in coverage that we haven't quite seen a whole lot of yet, but I think we will with more reps. And it's going to be good to see that guy get a lot more run here, especially in games that start to mean something. So I think for him, I just left Saturday, really him being the biggest positive sign defensively for me. I thought the defense definitely had their best game of the season. But no, Jaden Perlotti, that kid's going to be fun to watch.
He is a violent player. He's fun.
Awesome.
He's fast, side to side. Like the Perlotti-Spillman combo next year could be like, you're an opposing offense. You're like, I really don't want to get hit by Spillman and Perlotti over and over again, because I think those are your two most violent linebackers, and they probably are your two starters going next year. I guess it depends on what Arion does, if he goes in the draft or not. But I think Perlotti is definitely coming on at the right time. Harmon got more run. Because I'm pretty big on Harmon out of Rome, and we'll see if he continues to factor him more down the stretch. But Ty Redmond playing his best football at the right time. Yep. I think he deserves a big shout out for this game in particular. But yeah, I not a whole lot of takeaways. Y'all said. I would say the other one, David Sanders, is good. Like David is, I think Tennessee's tackles are good. And I think that's going to be very important going into Florida and Vanderbilt as well, is that Sanders and Hurd, I think, have stabilized at the left and right tackle spots. And we'll see on Moy. We will get an SEC injury report tomorrow as we're taping this on a Tuesday night. So we'll see get the status. Doesn't seem good on Kinselman, but it seems like Moy, hopefully we get some good news there, because that could change some stuff in terms. I mean, he's been your best guard this year, so you hope to have him these final 2 weeks. But yeah, I think that's someone we got to shout out to, is David Sanders is just quietly. Like, you don't hear about David Sanders right now because David Sanders is doing his job. Like, you don't want to hear about your right tackle. And if you're not, that means he's doing a good job. David Sanders is doing a good job for Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to make freshman mistakes, as we saw in the Oklahoma game. It's expected out of a freshman. You don't want to make those freshman mistakes as a sophomore, junior, but I think he's out. He's outplaying those mistakes. You can look past them, or you can get over them quicker, I guess.
Alex, speaking of Boo Carter, he was obviously dismissed this week and will enter the transfer portal. Do you think this is a nothing burger for Heupel with how this all played out from July on, or do you think it's a troubling sign for how Heupel handles these kind of complicated problems in terms of, like, do you keep the guy or do you drag it out because he's super talented and you kind of let it play out and hope he gets it all, he pieces it all together? Like, how do you view the Heupel and his staff's management of the entire Boo Carter situation from July to now?
Well, I think you have to kind of look at how the Nico situation played out too, because it's kind of a tale of two different things. With the Nico situation, kind of just ups and leaves, and there's not really a second chance. It was, the circumstances were different, just in terms of Nico's, feelings about wanting to be at Tennessee, or his family's feelings. But, Boo Carter got his second chance from Heupel after not showing up during the fall and over the summer. So, I think it's good. And he was asked after the game if he regretted it, his decision to give Boo Carter a second chance. And he said, no, I would, you just got to let that kind of stuff play out. And he said that's part of the risks that you take on when you're recruiting a guy, and especially recruiting young kids out of high school. And sometimes, depending on what program you're at, it might not be the right fit. And so I think, he allowed Boo Carter to have all the run he could at Tennessee, and it just simply didn't work out. So, I think the way that it's going now and the drama that's kind of surrounding the whole thing makes it appear as it might be an issue. But I think overall, his staff did the best they could, and it just simply didn't work out.
Yeah, I tend to share that opinion. Do you, Caleb, or do you have a different take?
I mean, I don't fault Josh Heupel for which now there's some confusion about whether the team voted to have him back, or some conflicting reports that. So I don't know, but I don't fault him for giving him the chance. The way it's all played out now, talking in November, it's very interesting. Like I said, the most straightforward question or answer we've gotten from Josh Heupel when he's asked about the SEC availability report, and he says not according to our trainers, which means in my mind that trainers are saying he's good. Like everything we see is fine. Everything we've gotten back from doctors is fine. And to me, it just seems they got fed up with him not wanting to be there and told him to go. I mean, in his own words, an interview with John Bryce says, "Go home during a practice. Just go home. We'll talk to you later." And they deal with it on Sunday and just send him on his way. So it's all very interesting. I know a lot of coaches have pushed players through injuries. Josh Heupel and his staff don't seem like they seem like they hold people out. So I'd be shocked if Booz Carter's story is entirely true. But we'll find out eventually for sure. But I would say nothing right now. Keep it on the radar, I guess. But it's a nothing burger for me for overall. It's a guy that here's a lesson for all you kids out. They'll get more chances than you. It's just the nature of the business. Like, it's how it works. They will mess up and they'll get a second chance and a third and a fourth. Boo Carter's that guy, and he's going to get a second chance at another program. And I don't know if he'll make as much money as he did. He'll make a lot of money next year for whoever he decides to play for.
And it should really be more about like getting his career back on track so that he's back in the NFL, back in a position to potentially make the NFL, right? Like he needs to go in the best fit where I think he can play two ways because I do think he can be a two-way player at this level. So
I think
Louisville makes a lot of sense. Like if he wound up at Louisville or something, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I could see Louisville somewhere like that where he won't get lost in the shuffle and he has an opportunity where they're like, yeah, player. Like that.
Yeah. Right. And I think if I was giving advice to Boo Carter, it's wherever you go next, like you need to be all in. Like when you go there, you need to be sold on it. You need to be there when it's voluntary because you're part of a team. And you can blame it in the mirror because whether you did everything right August to now, you weren't doing everything right April to July. So you need to kind of get those ducks in a row. I mean, I'm not saying the biggest hurdle for Boo Carter is Boo Carter, but it's definitely a hurdle. Like this should be a reflection point.
I would encourage everybody, just wish him well. And hey, well, we got team. I mean, Tennessee's got more football. We're playing Florida. You just keep it moving.
We'll see if it happens. Apparently, his mom deleted her Facebook. Talk about controlling the controllables. That's the best thing for that. Without posting the stuff that should be kept private, you don't need it.
Well, I think I would encourage a lot of parents. I guess it's easier said than done, but just staying off social media because I think I would struggle with it as a parent. We all would.
I think if you're at that level,
like seeing other people talk about your kid, I imagine it's a very tough thing to deal with. And that's
I understand. Wanting to get your side of the story out.
Well, not even just that, but just seeing it because you just see a lot of people are writing things about your kid, and
it's not even about my kid.
I that's
wanted to do that this week about my alma mater, and I've said it privately. I think that's okay, but I'm not going to publicly go after anybody.
No. Well, Caleb Mitchell, question for you. This is something I immediately added to the doc like 6 days ago, maybe 5 days ago. It was like, this is right up Caleb's alley.
Unfortunately.
Caleb is a season ticket holder for Tennessee football. How many games do you think you've been inside Neyland Stadium total in your life, Caleb?
It's so funny. It's not as many as you'd think because, there's only so many a year.
That's true.
And then, so my family's had these tickets my entire life, but we've only had 2, and I have 5 brothers and sisters. I don't know if you know that.
I did not know that.
Man.
Yeah. And so growing up, my dad would always take one of us kids to a game, and we got to pick it, but the way it would work is the oldest got to choose first. And thankfully, as I got older, if you didn't live in a house, you did not have claims to tickets. So it was the oldest that lived in the house. So I didn't go to my first Alabama game until I didn't play at home. And 2012 was my
My
first
goodness.
Alabama game. Tennessee Alabama game. Yeah. My first Florida game was 2009, I think. So yeah, but did you guys ever use that Memento app? It's really
Yeah,
cool, where
I
you
use
can
it
go
all
and
the
track all
time.
your games.
Love it.
Yeah, I need to get back on it because I'd have to log back in. I don't know. It's so over the last one a year. So 7, sometimes 8 home games, whatever that is. Yeah, I absolutely love Neyland. It's one of my favorite places to be.
I like it. That being said, should Neyland expand? Because the Danny White comments that everyone picked up last week of looking into, I don't have his exact quote here. Was it a tweet or a quote originally?
I think he just responded.
Yeah,
that's what I
don't think it was
like
an official
tweet.
release.
Yes, and wanting to expand, he said, I think it's actively exploring Neyland Stadium expansion. So you're at 101,000, I want to say. Is it?
You're under 100 now. I think they admitted to being under 100 for the last 5 or 6 years.
So good idea, bad idea, neutral on it, having Neyland Stadium expanded here in the coming years.
As it stands today, I think it's an awful idea. I think it's stupid in more ways than one.
Okay.
My number one, I mentioned I love Neyland. To me, Neyland Stadium, and I know 90% of this view is very biased, so it's good to have Alex on, who's not from here, and you, Chase, who are less biased than I am when it comes to Tennessee and Neyland. I think Neyland is one of the prettiest college football. Like when you see the overhead shot, like that is a college football stadium. I don't love that. It benefits me because I can actually see replay now. I don't love that we cut the Jumbotron in on the north end zone. I do think they did it tastefully. Like I don't think it takes away too much, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I think if you added a third deck, it would look hideous. I thought about Death Valley and Baton Rouge. It's loud, have fun at night, whatever. It's ugly. Like it's clear they just kind of slapped on levels as they went to add more seats. Cool. You do that. I think Neyland is just, I think it's perfect. There's a reason that these TV stations love the 3:30 spot in the fall because it's the prettiest overhead shot of all time. When it's just like orange outside, then you have orange in the seats. It's perfect. And then, all these fans want to get in. Maybe I'm wrong, but hasn't every single sports league in the United States in the last 10 years talk about how live sports are not a thing anymore? Like it's hard to sell tickets. You think, I don't know what, 13,000 people are going to magically show up every game? Or are we just going to have a bunch of half empty seats when it comes down to it? Because that 26,000 wait list, Chase, has changed. It is now an interest list, which is what Caleb Mitchell's been saying all along. They ask people in the mall if they would like to sign up for calls about season tickets, and you can walk away with this squishy of Smokey or something. And now they're added to the interest list. I don't know. There's not.
Do you do the stop and chat when a mall kiosk is like, "Hey, do you have a second?"
I'm a sucker. I try. Thankfully, I'm a person that walks around with AirPods in all the time, usually listening to the podcast.
Okay.
And I can just act like I'm on the phone or act like
I would love to. I got to take this.
But I get suckered in. Thankfully I've been in the mall in years, but I'm that guy.
Okay. Alex, are you that guy? I feel like Gen Z is not affected by this at all.
Like a guy who stops and talks to people? No.
Yeah.
Well, those people who are like,
I knew, I didn't have to ask. I knew Alex's answer here. I knew it. I wish we had that confidence.
People. Yeah.
Because you're just like, I wonder if they assume too, like Gen Z, they're not stopping.
Probably.
Like, that's not our demo.
Yeah. It happens a lot on the pedal walkway here on campus when there'll be different clubs lined up and I'm walking and I normally have my AirPods in there, but there's been a few times where I don't. And I mean, just walk right by them, put my hoods up normally, just big league them.
Big league them. They're just trying to get you to sign up for a club, Alex. They're trying to connect with their fellow classmates.
I appreciate
them out.
I appreciate the effort, but not my.
I spun the Little Caesar sign for one day, one summer, back home from college. I made it a day.
mascot or
Yeah,
just,
like the
oh,
spinner.
that's
Like,
sick.
dude,
But you were Caesar.
I was what?
You were dressed as, you were the
Oh, no,
mascot.
no.
Oh, okay.
No, I wouldn't have signed up for that. But yeah, I spun the sign for a day, and my closest friends found out about it, and they kept driving by and making fun of me, and it was a fun day, but another story for another day. All that to be said, it just, to your point, like we're all big baseball guys, college baseball guys. You saw, like, I think we can agree that Mississippi State Stadium is fantastic. The Dude is what it's called, right? It's too big. Like, you saw those games when Mississippi State's not good, like they have struggled post national title. A lot of empty seats in that venue. Like, it's a great venue, but you want a hornet's nest. Like, that's one of the things you worry about when you're expanding LNS is like, I kind of want to keep it as a hornet's nest. Like, I kind of want to make sure this is always a tough place for folks to play. And I always want it to be a hot ticket where it's like standing room only for big games and that kind of thing. You want to be careful with how much you expand because, look, I mean, there is something to be said about having not enough space, not enough tickets, not enough, like, you want that hot ticket. And if there's too much space, it could be like, yeah, they did too much. And I wonder if there is some remorse from the Mississippi State side of things, because it's a gorgeous stadium, but there's too many seats. And I think you talked about, like, the pro model, like, they're shrinking stadiums. Like, the new thing is to have less seats. And I think that part of it is just because of how great it is to watch these games on television now. But I think the other part of it is, like, it's expensive. Like, it's really expensive for a lot of families to go to these games. So you're not going to have as many people. And yeah, I think there's a lot of moving parts to it, but there's nothing wrong with actively exploring, like, how it would work and that kind of stuff. But I do think you should not expand Neyland Stadium. And I don't even call it a stadium, to your point, to bring it all home. Like, it's a Coliseum. Like, I tell people, I'm like, it's a Coliseum. It doesn't feel like a football stadium to me. And I mean that is the highest of compliments, is like, you feel like you're walking into a Roman Coliseum when you come inside Neyland Stadium.
I joke that Bristol says it's the last great Coliseum. And I'm like, no, there's a even better one, like just a few hours south.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a biased opinion either.
Right? Yeah.
I don't view it like, I just know that there's a lot of bias, but like because everyone's complaining about the 3:30 shot, and I'm like, well, as much as they love the 7 p.m. shot at Death Valley, they love the 3:30 shot of Neyland. And I think if you talk to any, I mean, I meet people usually once a year that are traveling from Europe, or a buddy trip from guys out in like Arizona or California who they do an SEC bucket list, and they're like, we're starting with Neyland, or this one's been on it and we had to get here. So, something like that. Like, it is a destination for a reason. And a lot of it, the majority of it, has to do with this, like, obviously the game going on there, but being in that stadium. And another thing too is, he can say all this about, wanting to get more fans in there. If there is an expansion, it's going to be luxury seating. It's going to be boxes. I can almost guarantee it, or some type of luxury seating. There's a certain demographic thereafter, and it's the one that pays the most money, and that's his job. So I can't really complain, but us peons, let's not get excited for it, because it's not going to be us.
Well, we shall see on that front. We shall see. Alex, Tennessee basketball last night. As of this recording, we're still awaiting word on my guy JP Estrella. Thoughts and prayers up for my guy JP, and hopefully that is not a big injury for him, and that we'll get good news here on that front sooner rather than later. But outside of that, which kind of changed the whole feeling in the building and everything else after that happened late in the first half against the Rice Owls, what was your biggest takeaway from what you saw from Tennessee moving to 4-0 on the season against their old friend Rob Lanier?
Well, I think it's all of JP Estrella's closest teammates in the front court. I mean, all those guys, the depth that they have this year, and I've harkened back to this multiple times already this year. The depth that they have this year, and Jaylen Carey said it after the game. He believes they're the best front court in the country, and obviously that's a statement that Tennessee has not been able to say these past couple of years. And I think it's going to be maybe the thing that finally is able to get them over the top, maybe get them to a Final Four should everything go right with guard play and everything. But the depth, a guy like Jaylen Carey against North Florida obviously struggled, checked into that game later than he normally would behind Dwayne Brown. And he comes out and gives you some quality minutes. And I think, that's something that, worked on in practice, got with coaches. Rick said he needed to bring more energy. He did that. And I think that carried really throughout the lineup. We're seeing the lob plays back with Felix, obviously going for a career night. Dwayne Brown didn't get as much run maybe as he has in previous games, but, there's depth there. And, I think that's the most important thing is they're going to have – I think it's a good problem to have. And just the physicality is there, and it's really everything that I think they've needed. And it's what Barnes didn't want the front court to be an issue this year, and I don't think it's going to be at all. And so I think that can carry them a lot once they get into conference play. Should shooting fall apart like it did at some points last year. So no, I think it's huge. The front court's going to come up big.
Yeah, no, I think Jaylen Carey bounced back because you were kind of worried with his start. I'm convinced part of it is the armband on the right arm and the low socks. Looks better look, look better, play better. I also just really enjoy every quote from Jaylen Carey. Not only is he talking up his teammates in the front court, and who did he compare Nate Ament to? What did he say in the offseason? He had a quote about him too, I think, a few months back. But he talks up to his teammates, good teammate. He also talks a lot of mess about his old team and did not take what was his exact quote to your teammate, Trevor McGee? What did he say in the scrum about he didn't go up against guys like that in practice or something?
Yeah.
Last goal?
Yeah. He that's what he said. And Trevor's tweet blew up after that. All the Vandy fans were on him for that. But
I love it, man.
It is, but it is. I mean, I think it is the truth, it's, that's the program that Rick's built, and all the newcomers from Tennessee's front court are all quality guys. So, I mean, it's probably the truth from Jaylen Carey.
And then you have Amari Abram and what Rick Barnes is doing at the 2-guard spot with Bishop Boswell missing the last 2 games due to injury. He's doing the Joker, Heath Ledger Joker meme where he's breaking the pull cue in front of the guys and just tossing it in there and seeing who comes out. And that's basically what he's doing with Amari Abram, Troy Henderson, Bishop Boswell, and Ethan Berg. But I do appreciate that from Rick and how he's approaching it.
Yeah, I think these next 2 weeks, it's going to be really interesting that last year, over the span of these 2 weeks, you still saw 8 to 10 guys playing, but the line was clearly defined. You're like, all right, January rolls around, we know who it's going to be. I think it's going to be really I mean, you're starting to get a better understanding, but I think it's going to be really interesting to find that line because it's not so clear right now.
No, I think 100%. Especially the 2. Like, how much is Troy? I think the freshmen are interesting. Like, how much does Troy play well enough to keep his spot for a couple minutes a night? Does Dwayne Brown keep pushing, or does Jaylen Carey play well enough that you're able to kind of keep? I don't want to say keep Brown on ice, but more of like let him continue to get ready. Because I mean, the plan was not for him to be a key contributor as a true freshman. So if Carey can give you reliable minutes, Cade can stay healthy, they're gonna be okay. And I mean, Felix Flash too, we should throw out. Felix is passing and just he has to do so much stuff that's not fun. Like Felix Okpara does a lot of stuff. He moves around so much. He's such a great defender. But I mean, he had one great pass to, was it Berg in the corner where he was inside, and just a great pass on the outside. And like he's growing as a player. But Felix is a lot of fun. And like I said, he just does stuff that's not fun in basketball, I feel like. And he's a great worker, great teammate. And bigs in the SEC are not going to enjoy playing this Tennessee group because they are going to bang hard. And it is, there's going to be some bruises when you're going to get up against Tennessee this season.
8 assists too for Jacoby Gillespie. Another guy that Rick said thought he played his best half of the season. And, we know he can score, but he brings a lot more scoring threat than Zakai Ziegler did last year. But man, he keeps giving those assist numbers. That's going to be some big time production.
Yeah, and Berg looks better as the games have gone on too, right?
Yeah, no, I think so. And just on Gillespie real quick, I hope this continues over 2 weeks. It feels like he's looking more and more comfortable having control of the offense, the pace. Man, when he wants to get out and run, like it's going to be tough to slow him down often for teams. And a quick note, I went to click on the box score and I ended up on Tuesday night scores. Michigan State's up 46-29 on Kentucky.
Ooh.
early in the second half, but that's shocking.
Good for Tennessee.
Sure.
I'd like to beat Kentucky twice.
Yeah, I would love nothing more.
Yeah.
Although I do hate Kentucky basketball. I think I do hate John Calipari more than I hate Kentucky basketball. Because my hate's like it's not as strong.
Okay.
He's just such a hateable character.
I just reserve my hate. I'm just not a hater. It's just a lot. I'm tired.
Well, I think maybe we're using the term hate differently.
Yeah.
Oh,
You love to hate Calipari.
Sure.
Okay.
I just when you like watching him stomp. I mean, I get legitimate joy watching him pitch toddler fits, and I don't like it is toddler fits. He stomps, crosses his arm, pouts his lip. I mean, he is a toddler on the court, and I get actual joy out of watching him do that.
Final thing here, Caleb. Sam Leavitt. There's some scuttlebutt on what's happening with him going into 2026. Is he back at Arizona State? Is he entered the portal? We've got his brother getting involved here. I
missed the brother. What is this?
The brother put him on his story. The report about whether or not he was going to enter the portal. I think he was talking about Pete Nakos of On3.
I guess I didn't realize that's how it all started. Okay.
Well, I think they reported it first, and I think he saw it. The brother saw it, and then put it on his Instagram story, I think. But yeah, so Sam Leavitt obviously had a great year last year, getting them into the playoff. Has had an unfortunate injury-riddled season, out for the year this year. There's been a big-time conversation all across Vol Nation in terms of, does Tennessee risk it with a true freshman or redshirt freshman in Faison Brandon and George McIntyre in 26, or do they go out and spend big for a 1-year stopgap quarterback to give those guys one more year of experience and don't throw them to the fire just yet? Leavitt's an interesting name because I don't think any of us thought that he would be potentially in the fold here. And I'm curious if that was someone who did enter the portal here, which will be here before you know it, in a little over a month. Is he someone that you would target as a 1-year stopgap? They're like, yeah, I think this would be worth it to go after Sam Leavitt hard as a 1-year guy, get back on track and go to the pros, or would you go somewhere else? What would you do when it comes to Sam Leavitt?
Well, I think the really big question for me is, I think Tennessee does need to get a quarterback in this portal. I think the plan needs to be for them to play. But I don't know there's just not it's hard to know who. So Sam Leavitt's kind of the first name to pop up. I don't think that would be a bad target. I think he'll be targeted by a lot of programs seeking similar results. So I don't know where Tennessee would even stand in that, but I don't think that would be a bad target at all. But yeah, I think you have to go and get a quarterback. You can't tell me Tennessee's comfortable rolling out George McIntyre or Jake Merklinger because they haven't done it this year in no man's land. They can't have a good read on it. It's not possible. And then really they're not banking a whole season on a true freshman that you never know. So I think you have to go into this offseason targeting a quarterback. I don't think Sam Leavitt would be a bad person to bring in.
What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think Sam Leavitt's a very quality guy to bring in. I think, I wonder what the price tag would be. And you, like you said, there'd be a lot of teams interested, but I'm weary to the fact of bringing in, whoever starts next year. It's going to be a guy starting in his first year in college football. And, historically, that stuff doesn't always go well. I don't care how good Faison is or how long George McIntyre has sat behind a guy like Joey Aguilar. It's still tough to do. So, no, I think, it would benefit the young guys to have a guy like that in that room. And I just think Sam Leavitt's a very quality guy. He's already won a conference title. He's he knows what it's like to win. And I think that's important. And just from, a physical standpoint, he's looking to get to the NFL, and I think he's got the skill set to do that. So I would be very interested. I think I would be maybe prioritizing that as something that I would be looking at if I was Tennessee, because I would really like to see what that offense would look like. You got Tristan Keys in there. Staley and all those guys. I mean, that would be an interesting little duo. And we've seen what a veteran quarterback like Joey Aguilar can do. And I mean, dare I say that Sam Leavitt can be better? I think he could. So, we'll see.
I don't love my quarterback wearing an arm sleeve. Those little half ones that Tyler Bray wore like twice, I'm okay with.
Well, hold on. Put some respect on my guy who also wore one. One of my favorite quarterbacks in Tennessee history.
Wore an arm sleeve. One arm sleeve? He didn't have two sleeves on to stay warm?
No, just one. Post Tyler Bray.
Sterling Hinton. Did Nathan Peterman wear one? He seems like he might have wore one.
He's not the guy I'm thinking of, but he could have potentially.
After
Missing the
Tyler
big one
Bray.
here. He was so fun in the open field. So much potential. I'll still ride for him. Number 18.
Brian Maurer.
Brian Maurer, the power hour. He had a sleeve. He wore the arm sleeve.
I mean, I've seen that man's life end. I don't feel good about him at all. When he got flipped that play at Mississippi State, got up and stumbled around, and they just sent the next play in with him, I was like, okay.
Dude, I will always ride for Brian Maurer. That guy, I will not I just think the right system, big gamer. I don't know. Yeah, he wore
I
on the left.
agree,
I'm pulling it up.
not in the SEC. He would have been an awesome quarterback to see play for like JMU.
Maybe like Coastal with
Yep.
Jamie Chadwell in his pick years.
Yep. I agree with that. Although I don't think he ever started at Tarleton State, so maybe our points are mute. I don't know.
No, I will go to bat for Brian Maurer. Power hour, man. Electric stuff.
That
This is
touchdown
before
against
your time
Georgia
now,
before we
but-
got ran out of the stadium was awesome. I'll tell you that.
Love Brian Maurer. Alex Sarkis, what can the good folks check out from you and the team over at UTK Daily Beacon this week?
Well, we will be in Gainesville with all your football coverage this weekend. You can check my Twitter for your obligatory "This Seat Will Do" post Saturday evening.
Do you do it on Twitter too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's where I
Okay.
see it.
I
Yeah.
only do it on Twitter. Oh, well, I guess I do put it on my Instagram story sometimes.
That's
But
the only place I see it because I don't
No,
really go through it.
My main thing's on Twitter. I do it every single day.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, that'll be up and rolling and all your usual stuff from us. And yeah, we're going to be having some fun.
That'd be a funny bit too if you just did that was your thing and then you do no work the rest of the game. Like you just take the picture and it's like the seat will do and it looks like your work and then nothing. You don't file anything and you're just like, I'm out. You're like, this seat will do. That was it. Clock in, clock out. Quick 5 seconds to work.
I will do it. This seat will do if I go to a game as a fan as well. So that's when you see without any thread underneath. But I don't know. It's I actually stole it from somebody, but I'm not going to reveal who it is.
Okay. My father would not do it. This seat will do for any game. Love my dad dearly, but we went to a last minute Tennessee Vanderbilt basketball game a couple years back. And it was weirdly really sold out. It was a Stackhouse year. And
At Vanderbilt or
here.
Okay.
And I was like, it was just odd because I was like, it was a weekday game, and I was like, there's no way because my dad was at home. I was like, we'll just go, it'll be fine. And it was like, oh, a lot of seats are taken up. I'm like, all right, well, never mind. We got the highest of the high nosebleeds in TBA, and
which
he was not a happy camper.
I've sat in.
They go a little too high.
Yeah, I've sat in just about every seat you can in Neyland. I legitimately don't believe there's a bad seat. There are lots of bad seats in Thompson. Lots.
I tend to agree. LNS is all good. I think Neyland, like you said, mostly all good. But yeah, TBA, I think. Because it just goes higher. I think basketball is also the hardest to not have bad seats.
Tough.
Yeah, I think you almost have to cap it at a certain distance from the court for it to be enjoyable. What I will say is the lower bowl, I've sat in some basketball arenas where even the lower bowl, they can go out enough that you feel really separated from the action. For Thompson, at least, it kind of goes straight up. So every lower bowl seat, you really feel on top of it. And that's so not really a bad seat there, but
it's true. It also inspires my favorite tweets in college hoop season. It's you're blowing the calls about how do you miss that call? And it's a picture from just at a football stadium for a basketball game. It's always great. I enjoy those tweets. They're great.
I do love my favorite one is when there's like super obvious holds where like you can see the dude's jersey getting ripped off and it takes the ref. He's probably trying to find his flag and everyone's yelling at him like he can hear. I yell like he can hear me.
So I was at a game on Friday and we'll go here. I thought it was at the Maribel game. And I think it was the Maribel game where dude launched like one of the best arm talent officials I've ever seen. Like he launched a yellow flag. I'm talking like launched it. And I think I said something to Caleb Giroux about it where I was like, whoa, did you see that? Like he launched that thing. It looks like that, like launched it. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
There was a play on Saturday. I don't know if you guys could see it on TV, but all three referees threw their flag in the exact same place at the exact same time. It was freaky. I don't know if you noticed it.
I did not notice that.
I didn't.
I think it was early in the game.
I was fighting to not fall asleep in this football game.
I forget what the call was, but it was an obvious call, and all of them threw the flag. It was funny.
Which, by the way, your co-host on Monday, I think this was last Monday, pretended to not know what a Saturday nap was.
Oh, unbelievable, Matt!
A Saturday afternoon nap.
Oh.
My favorite thing about CBS was waking up in the middle of da, 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 da. That would wake me up on Saturday.
Yeah, Saturday afternoon nap is fantastic stuff.
Yeah, like, that's crazy town.
Dead wrong there.
I'm glad
Matt
you
Green, me. Longtime college friend, buddy of mine. Bad take. But yeah, he's very much in the wrong there. I'm glad you're with me on that because like he was giving me grief about a Saturday afternoon nap. What are we doing?
Last thing too on football, what you're hitting on the officials throwing their flags. I love when an official goes and like moves his flag. Going into football, they're going spot of the foul, and I'm like, you're just guessing. There's no science to that. We'll spend 10 minutes reviewing this next spot, but you just guess where we're gonna mark this off from.
There you go.
Love that.
Caleb Mitchell, what can good folks check out from you and the team over at More Important Issues this week as well?
Yeah, fan run Thursday night. We'll be live. Having a good time, as always. Back Sunday to recap Florida. And then check out Monday nights. I am put out a feeler, hoping for a big guest for the Vanderbilt preview, lead up, whatever you want to call it. We'll see if it happens.
Tim Corbin.
No. Never. He has a do you know the check the bat game where he it was before Jordan Beck's home run. Cody Hahn, South Louisville guy. I think he hit 2 or 3 in that game. And after his second or third, as he's rounding the bases, Tim Corbin had the SEC or had the umpires turn in his bat to SEC officials to get tested. So check the bat that was 2008 probably. So me and him have personal beef because that's a South Louisville.
Goes way back. We're working on 20 years here, Caleb.
Yeah. I do also want to mention one more thing from Neyland. To my knowledge, I think this is correct. Every expansion was drawn by General Neyland. So it also may just be a crime against the history of the place to expand it past his, unless he has some stuff we haven't seen. I don't know.
Who's to say?
Would Danny go in on the CADs and draw on his own thing and be like, yeah, he did this. Y'all just have never seen it.
Alex Sarkis, Caleb Mitchell, always a pleasure. And I'll talk to y'all next week.
See you, Chase.
Nicely done, nephew. The Chase Thomas Podcast. Hell yeah.